A very good evening and welcome to Primetime News, live here on News First. I'm Mahina Bongzo.
Good evening, I'm Shahin Rampati. Let's start off with a look at tonight's headlines. Hand grenade suspected cause of Diathalava bus explosion, 19 injured. Prime Minister informed Parliament, National Unity Government will continue. Cabinet reshuffle to take place this week. Professionals demonstrate against ECTA.
Preliminary investigations into the explosion and fire on board a bus in the Kahagolla area in Diathalava this morning have revealed that the explosion was caused by a hand grenade. However, the army spokesperson has reiterated that this was not a terrorist attack.
Diathalava was the final destination for the private bus which began its journey from Jaffna last night. The passengers on board were transferred to another bus in Bandarawala. Army spokesperson Brigadier Sumit Atapattu said the transfer of passengers is a routine occurrence. A hand grenade had exploded on board the bus, triggering a fire as the vehicle was passing Kahagolla en route to Diathalava.
At about 5:25 a.m. I heard a loud noise, then it caught fire. I heard a sound which was similar to a phone falling in the seat in front of me. Then there was a loud noise and a fire broke out. That is all I remember. Investigations are ongoing, but we can confirm that it was not an act of terrorism.
19 passengers who were injured in the incident were admitted to the Diathalava base hospital. Among the injured are 7 soldiers, 5 airmen and 7 civilians. The hospital director stated 2 of the soldiers are in serious condition.
6 of them have undergone surgery so far. The patients have sustained burn wounds caused by an explosion. We had to amputate the leg of one of the security forces personnel who was admitted.
The Prime Minister and the Subject Minister offered explanations in Parliament today on the explosion.
I spoke to the Army Commander, General Mahesena Nayaka. He said they think it was a grenade and they are taking necessary action. It is possible that it was in the bag of one of the people en route to Jaffna. I think the Subject Minister can explain. Investigations are ongoing. The government analyst has also begun an investigation, and following their examination we can inform you of the results. We believe at present that a grenade inside the bag of one of the passengers on board had exploded.
Additional Magistrate in Bandarawala, Kenneth Godwin De Silva, examined the scene of the incident this afternoon.
වැරදි කරන කිසි කෙනෙක් මම රකින්න ලෑස්ති නැහැ.
වෙන කණ්ඩායමක් ආවොත් මේ නිදහස නැති වෙනවා.
අද ඩොලරය 159යි.
මේගොල්ලව සුදු කරපටි මංකොලකාරී.
මේ මම ඇමරිකානු පුරවැසියෙක්.
The question as to whether the national government is still valid was brought up again in Parliament today. That proposal is still valid. It has not been invalidated or annulled. It is continuing on the same basis. I do not think that a situation has arisen where we wish to annul it.
We are bound to continue to work as per the agreement. We have not withdrawn from it as yet.
On
the 2nd of September, you informed this Parliament that this had a time frame of 2 years. The agreement mentions a national government that will be formed for 2 years. In the Prime Minister's statement, it notes that the continuity of this will be decided on following a review. I have the Hansard copy of this.
If our Secretary General can please read out the proposal we have adopted under Section 46/4.
Since the United National Party, which received the most seats in Parliament, has established a national government, the number of cabinet ministers should not exceed 48 and the number of non-cabinet ministers and deputy ministers should not exceed 45 as decided by Parliament.
The Honourable Speaker has stated that you have the documents relevant to this proposal. That means that there is an agreement between these 2 or 3 parties. That agreement has been sent to Parliament.
There is no requirement that this agreement be brought to Parliament. The Honourable Prime Minister has said the national government will continue. The Sri Lanka Freedom Party and the United People's Freedom Alliance Secretary has said the national government will continue. What more do you want? This is a joke.
සමහරලාට පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ ගරු මැතිම
It may be because the honourable members of parliament discussed reconsidering this in 2 years. I accept that. However, there isn't a single word or condition in this proposal which indicates that the national government is finished as soon as the 2 years lapse or as soon as the agreement expires.
මෙම යෝජනාවේ නැහැ. යෝජනාව ගේන්න පුළුවන්.
Such a proposal can be made once a national government has been formed. On that day, you informed this parliament that a national government had been formed. It was on that premise that this motion was adopted. The formation of a national government is a precondition to this motion. Just as you have read the proposal, also read the letter signed by Mr. Vishwavarnapala.
තුමාට ඉදිරිපත් කරපු ලිපියත් කියවන්න.
Mr. Speaker, this is a parliament, not a kacheri.
දෙන්න අතර විවාහයක් නම් අපිට ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ.
If this is a marriage between the two of you, then we have no problem. Whether you are partying, eating, drinking or sleeping at night is irrelevant to us. Our question is this. As per the Constitution, from the 3rd of September to the present, this cabinet is invalid.
There was only one document in this chamber. That is the proposal I put forward on the steps to be taken by the United National Party. There was no other document. There may have been talks of agreements during the speeches. However, when it was asked that the agreement be presented, I said there was no need to present it.
It was said that it was for 2 years. Since you are our fearless Prime Minister, sign the agreement again and present it to Parliament.
If all three parties are in agreement, then we cannot go beyond that. I will also make inquiries into the points that you have raised to see if there is any legal decision that I can make.
The cabinet itself was the subject of the media briefing on cabinet decisions held today.
කැබිනට් සංශෝධනයක් සිද්ධ වෙයි කියලා බලාපොරොත්තු වෙමින් ඉන්නවා.
කැබිනට් සංශෝධනය සිදු වෙන එක සති ගානක ඉඳලා තියුන්නේ නැහැ. කැබිනට් සංශෝධනය දැන්ටත් කරගෙන යනවා. හොඳේ ඒක අනවුන්ස් කරන දවසනේ තියෙන්නේ ප්‍රශ්නේ.
අපිට කැබිනට් සංශෝධනය
මේ සතියේ නම් හිතන්න පුළුවන් මේ සතිය ඉවර වෙන්න ඉස්සෙල්ලා කරන්න පුළුවන් ඒක.
ගිය සතියේ කැබිනට් මාධ්‍ය හමුවටත් ජයසිරි ජයසේකර මැතිවරයා පැමිණියේ නැහැ. අද දිනෙත් නැහැ. ඊයේ පැවති කැබිනට් මණ්ඩල හමුවට එතුමා පැමිණියද?
නැහැ.
සුසිල් ප්‍රේමජයන්ත මැතිතුමා පැමිණියේ
නැහැ.
මොකක්ද හේතුව මැතිතුමා?
ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ මාන්නේ.
පෙන්නන්නේ ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂයේ තියෙන විරුද්ධතාවයද? එතුමන්ලා විටින් විට කියනවා තාමත් උන් අරගමැති වෙනස් කිරීමේ තත්වයක ඉන්නවා වගේ ප්‍රකාශත් කරනවා. දැන් ඔබතුමා කිව්වා ඒක මාධ්‍ය
මට නම් ආරංචි නැහැ කවුරුවක්වත් කියනවා කිය. ඊයේ බොහොම හොඳට අගමැතිතුමත් එක්ක කැබිනට් මණ්ඩලයේ කතා කරේ හිටියා ඔය කට්ටිය.
දැන් උතර මේ මාධ්‍ය හමුවට ජයසිරි ජයසේකර
අගමැතිවරු දෙන්නෙකුත් එක වෙලාවක හිටගෙන කතා කරන්නේ.
කවුද නිල්ලවණ අගමැති?
නෑ පහුගිය දවස්වල දැන් තමුන්නාන්දලා වාර්තා කරන්නේ. අපි දන්නේ නැති අගමැතිවරු. ඒ දෙන්නත් ඊයේ කතා කරේ.
ඒකට බොහොම හොඳට කතා කරගෙන හිටියා.
කවුද නිවන් සිරිපාල ඇමතුමාද?
ඒක අහන්න ඕනේද? ජනාධිපතිතුමා බොරු කිව්වා කියලා පස්තිය. ඉතින් දැන් බොරුව කවුද කිව්වේ කියලා තියෙනවනේ. දැන් දෙවෙනි ටොම්පචය 2. පළවෙනි ටොම්පචය අධ්‍යක්ෂණය කළ තියෙන රෝහිත සිල්වා, නිෂ්පාදනයේ සුමනා අමරසිංහ, මේ සැරේ ටොම්පචය අධ්‍යක්ෂණය, නිෂ්පාදනය සහ ගරු රංගපෑම හිටපු ජනාධිපති මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ.
Parliamentarians once again voiced their opinion on postponing the debate on the reports of the Presidential Commissions of Inquiry, which were originally scheduled to be taken up yesterday.
There was a debate on both reports on the 6th. At that time, the Tamil National Alliance did not raise an issue with the translations. The Parliamentary Affairs Committee also convened and they did not raise the matter. They waited until the last moment to raise this issue because the ruling party had a need to prevent us from speaking about the bond report. The Prime Minister was facing a tough situation. This can be seen as an attempt made by both sides to postpone the report.
I take a strong objection to the honourable member ascribing motives for a very valid and legitimate concern that I raised in this house yesterday.
There is a legal basis on the issue raised by MP Sumandaran. The President's office has agreed to expedite the translation process of the primary report. The decision must be unanimous in the House. In addition, the ruling party did not force me to do anything. I can state it with responsibility.
පාර්ලිමේන්තුව තුළ දූෂණය, වංචාව, නාස්තිය,
corruption, fraud, waste and destruction has spread throughout Parliament. Who is doing this? It is not the employees or officials serving in Parliament. It is the public representatives elected by the people's vote. Parliament was to be in session until 7 p.m. yesterday, but it only lasted several minutes. Parliament was adjourned because there was no Tamil language translation. Weren't they aware of this? Look at how much wastage has taken place. Lunch is cooked for all 225 MPs in the afternoon. Tea is served for all 225 MPs in the evening. Look at how much money is being wasted on electricity bills and air conditioning on these days.
The proposal to establish a separate hybrid company for a national payment platform is to go ahead. However, the Central Bank Governor, Dr. Indrajit Kumaraswamy, has written to the Prime Minister's secretary stating this hybrid company is not required. The Central Bank is being pressurized to make preparations to launch the National Payment Platform, or NPP. On the 12th of January this year, the Secretary to the Prime Minister had written to the Central Bank Governor informing him that the Cabinet Committee on Economic Management had met on the 10th of January and was recommending a separate company to be formed with the involvement of the Central Bank and the Information Communication Technology Agency, or ICTA, creating a hybrid system to facilitate single-button transactions. ICTA Chairperson Chitrangani Mubarak, in a letter to the Governor, stated the Cabinet had approved the way forward for National Payment Platform. The Central Bank Governor has responded to the Secretary to the Prime Minister by saying CBSL owns the national payment infrastructure provider Lanka Clear Private Limited, and together with licensed commercial banks, it is currently handling the task. In the Governor's letter dated February 15th this year, he said no Central Bank officials were present at the Cabinet Committee on Economic Management when the decision was taken to recommend the setting up of the hybrid company. Kumaraswamy has said the CCM unit of the Prime Minister had informed the Central Bank that bank officials were not required as the MPP was not on the agenda. The Island newspaper, quoting highly placed government sources, states that there is a danger if a private company gains access to all banking information. CBSL points out that a new hybrid company is not required and any functions regarding retail payment and settlement systems can be carried out by the existing national payment infrastructure provider Lanka Clear Private Limited. The National Payment Platform is a controversial project initiated by the former CEO of the ICTA, Muhunthan Kanage. With the National Payment Platform, all government organizations will be able to allow businesses and citizens to make online payment in real time for services offered. The creator of the MPP will have access to information of all users, including institutions, businesses and citizens of the country. To register with the MPP, a user must submit all details into the system, including the national identity card number to bank accounts, to the system that is operated by the private company. When details of this were made known, the Central Bank of Sri Lanka vehemently opposed it. At today's media briefing, explanations were given on the Cabinet decision regarding Phase 3 of the Central Expressway.
Mitsubishi Bank in Tokyo has agreed to provide 100 billion yen in funding for the construction of the section of the Central Expressway which runs from Putuhara to Galagadara via Rambukkana. As such, the Cabinet of Ministers approved a proposal put forward by Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe from the Ministry of National Policies and Economic Affairs to award the contract for construction of the 32.5-kilometer stretch of road to a Japanese company.
One of the cabinet papers put forward in cabinet yesterday was on the provision of tablet computers. It is said that the president cancelled this. It has also been said that several other papers were rejected. Why is this?
The president asked that these be left aside and that decisions be made on all of these by Friday. A committee has been appointed to inquire into this within a week. Dr. Sarat Amudagama is heading this. There are important projects which must be completed within a year. Otherwise, they may be halted midway because of a lack of funding. The issuing of tablet computers was also included in this. There was a question yesterday on the Central Expressway, but this was approved. Everyone said this must be done. We spoke about this in our election manifestos for the 8th of January too. Everything else will be taken in packages and implemented in this way.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Just 2 days ago, it was reported that all Singaporeans will be given a one-off bonus of up to 300 Singaporean dollars, as the budget for 2017 came in with a surplus of up to 10 billion Singaporean dollars. A rather staggering and impressive amount of money for a country which was once known as a backwater port city, a country which once aspired to become like Sri Lanka, but has now emerged as an Asian tiger economy, meaning it is one of the fastest growing countries in the region. Having said that, let's take a look at what we said earlier in the bulletin about the controversial national payment platform, which was entrusted to a private company through the Information Communication Technology Agency, or ICTA. The project, which would have seen a very selected few profiteering out of it, was held at bay as it was revealed that the project was being undertaken circumventing central bank regulations and would compromise the regulatory authority of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. However, it is now reported that the project is being initiated once again through a hybrid company. Let's take a look at the next case. The awarding of the contract for the construction of the Central Expressway and the manner in which loans were obtained to fund the project were also marred in allegations of fraud and corruption. It has now been reported that Cabinet has granted approval for the securing of financing and the awarding of the contract for a Japanese company, as it has been planned all along. Our viewers may also recall the manner in which Tilak Marapana, who was the Minister of Law and Order, offered his resignation to Parliament surrounding his involvement to the avant-garde investigations. However, later on, he was reappointed to the Cabinet as the Minister of Foreign Affairs after Ravi Karunanika stepped down from the position during investigations into the bond scam. Let's take the Hambantota Port. Even before this government came into power, they pledged that no national resources will be sold off and it will be protected. However, later on, in a deal that lacked transparency and raised questions on the government's motives, the port was leased off to a foreign entity. These events lead us to the question and begs the question, will people like Udayanga Weeratunga be reappointed as the ambassador to Russia? Will someone like Arjuna Mahendran be reappointed as the governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka? Will Ravi Karunanika be appointed once again as the Minister of Finance? Or as a matter of fact, Vijayadasa Rajapaksa as the Minister of Justice again? We ask our viewers to recall the fight for social justice and good governance, which was initiated by the late Most Venerable Madhuluavi Sobhitathera. He embarked on this journey with the hope and aspiration of bringing about a Sri Lanka not just being prosperous, but also fair and just. Have those aspirations been met? Whom should we hold responsible for this betrayal? We report, you decide. Let's now take a short commercial break. More news on the other side.
The Professionals National Front protested opposite the Indian High Commission, demanding the Indo-Sri Lanka talks on ECTA be stopped.
The protesting professionals handed over a letter to the Indian High Commission. At a time there is a political uncertainty in the country, a group is having talks on ECTA in secret. A team has left Sri Lanka and are holding discussions in India. These talks, which have no government approval, must be stopped immediately, and the team must be recalled to the country.
Former Senior Superintendent of Police Hemantha Adhikari, who has been barred from travelling abroad over his suspected involvement in the assassination of journalist Lasantha Wickramatunge, arrived in court today to provide a statement in camera.
The statement was provided inside the official chamber of Chief Magistrate Mohammed Mihail.
ගරු මහේස්ත්‍රාතුමාගේ නියෝගය පරිදි අද දින එවකට
As per the order issued by the Honourable Magistrate, today the former SP who was in charge of this area back then, Hemantha Adhikari, provided a special statement as per the provisions of Article 127 in the Criminal Procedure Code in the presence of the Magistrate. We believe this statement could relate to the previous statement made by the former Crimes OIC.
ප්‍රකාශය කරන්නට ඇතයි අපි විශ්වාස කරනවා.
තාත්තගේ කැහක් නැහැ අයියා තනසීමියාරෝ
අපිට දැන් අවශ්‍ය කරන්නේ පොඩි ගයක්.
බුදුන් දකින්න අපිට මේ පාර හදලා දෙන්න ඕන. බුදු වෙනවා යාලා.
Bringing humanity together from all faiths to restore belief in a better tomorrow. Gammatha, A new humanitarian era.
Dakin ay rat tul nati uwa palam padi pelad sirasin kena awa gammande savum nidupin saradewa atak amat karana nagare dan gammande minis kame subadai besoyaran
The Newsfirst Gummadha teams visited the homes of the forgotten people of Sri Lanka in the years 2016 and 17, and we reported to you the plight of the people who live in the most rural of areas in Sri Lanka. Now, when we visited the homes of these people, we felt their burden, we understood their problems, and we decided that action speaks louder than words. And as a result of that, together with the University of Peradeniya, the Newsfirst Gummadha team compiled this report, the Gummadha report of the Gain Getter program. We did not just compile this report and confine it to the shelves of your average library. We took this report to the United Nations General Assembly. We handed this report over to the General Secretary of the United Nations. Representatives of the Capital Maharaja organization, on behalf of the general public of this country, handed over this report to the United Nations General Assembly. Now, following this report, we understood that there's an old saying, if there's a will, there is a way. And the Newsfirst Gummadha team, of course, had a will strong enough, and we found a way to help these people together with the general public of Sri Lanka. First, today I would like to direct your attention to the district of Anuradhapura. And we've compiled the report, the district of Anuradhapura, on the district of Anuradhapura. And in these statistics, the most severe issue that's plaguing the people of Anuradhapura, according to what we identified in our visits to these areas, was the lack of proper infrastructure facilities in the area. And as a result, we decided to help these people in their infrastructure facilities. We constructed a number of projects in these areas. Today, we will focus your attention on a construction that we carried out at the Pahala Halmilava village. Now, the people of this village lacked a proper community hall, and as a result, all their community activities were centered around the village temple. Now, this is all good and it sounds okay, but when religious activities were being conducted at the temple, these people were left with no standing structure to carry out regular community activities like the office of the Gramaneladari or a simple child or maternity clinic. And as a result, the Newsfirst Gummadha team took it upon themselves to construct a community hall in Pahala Halmilava. And the people in Pahala Halmilava today were full of smiles, happiness and laughter as this project, the community hall constructed by the Newsfirst Gummadha team, was vested with the public.
Aramunu apage piviturunam veraviriya apaham satunam atmel bendagena peratamayamu api deviyan apa samagainne deviyan apa samagainne තිරක් පායයි හෙට උදයේ ඊට කලින් පිබිදෙමු ලහි ලහියේ අලුත් තිරක් පායයි හෙට උදයේ ඊට කලින් පිබිදෙමු ලහි ලහියේ ගම්මැද්දට දෙමු කලෙලියක් හදමු අපි අලුත් රටක් එක්ම හදමු අපි අලුත් රටක් හදවත්.
We have only one motivation. If there's anything we can do for the people in the village, then we must do it. It will not do for us to ignore these needs as a news team.
In Colombo we have something called the bonds, and the bonds that were stolen, but in the village we have the bonds of friendship and the bonds of brotherhood that have come together to give strength to.
ඔබගේ දායකත්වයේ තියෙනවා නම්
It is not money that matters to us. What matters to us is your support. What matters to us, what takes priority, is the project that we are undertaking.
කරන්න යන වැඩ කටයුත්ත තමයි අපිට මුල් තැනට එන්නේ. මින් ඉදිරියට මේක පවත්වා.
It is now up to you to maintain these premises and to make maximum use of it. Thereby, I kindly request you to make optimum use of this opportunity to fulfill your needs. The government needs to open their eyes and look at this. Have they been able to accomplish something similar with 5 or 6 lakhs?
Of course, these Newsfirst Gamada projects are being sponsored by the general public, and this project was sponsored by Mr. and Mrs. Iral Veerasinghe. And now it's back to more news. Back to you, Shaheen.
Thank you very much, Shalan. Well, UNESCO celebrates International Mother Language Day today, the 21st of February. It serves as a reminder that linguistic diversity and multilingualism are essential for sustainable development. In Colombo, the celebrations were organized in and around the Viharamadevi Open Air Theatre by the Bangladesh High Commission to Sri Lanka, together with the Ministry of National Coexistence, Dialogue and Official Languages. The event was attended by Chairperson of the Office for National Unity and Reconciliation, former President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga, and Bangladesh High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, Riaz Hamidullah.
Last year we collected 137 bags of blood, and we can proudly say that our blood, including my own blood, is in Sri Lankan blood. So that's the spirit. Many people ask me that what is the relationship with language and blood? It's very somber, very subtle, because that not only symbolizes sacrifice, but blood is again a very unifying factor, unifying space, element.
One of the world's most influential preachers of the 20th century, Billy Graham, has died at the age of 99.
In a career spanning 60 years, Graham is estimated to have personally preached to 210 million people, reaching millions more through TV. He was ordained in 1939 and came to wider attention in the US 10 years later. He was a friend and a counselor to US presidents from Truman to Nixon and Obama. Billy Graham died today at his home in Montreal, North Carolina.
On that somber note, we conclude tonight's edition of Primetime News. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Mahina Bongzo.
And I'm Shaheen Jarampati. Good night and take care.